And welcome back to the Par Start Podcast. I'm your host Vic, aka Mr. Never Chillin', and this is episode number 73. And this is the last episode of the year, but we do welcome back my co-host Lunatic Oblivion.
Hey guys, happy Hanukkah to our Jewish viewers, and get ready for Christmas around the corner. Like the year is almost over. Where did
Yeah,
2022 go, my friend?
it's pretty crazy, dude. I was literally when I was pulling the upcoming game releases, which obviously isn't that much given the end of the year, but I was just like, I remember looking at this year last year, like beginning of January, and like there was none of the months were filled out yet because no one had like a solidified release date for the year, and they slowly started to fill in, and there's like nothing left into to be announced games, like release date wise, and I was just like, man, the year went by in a fucking blink. Holy shit! But
Yeah,
here,
dude, I'm like there's so many games for 2023 and now I'm just excited for 2022 to end, weirdly enough, and I hate saying it like that, but I cannot wait for 2023. We only got 3 games this week and like nothing next week, and
yeah,
the
nothing.
week after begins the first week of the new year. So
Right.
like we're already here. We got 3 games this week, but I see you beat one that came out last week. I see you finally beat High on Life. What'd you think of it?
Man, that game was so good, like really good. Like I ended up giving that a 9 out of 10 review. Yet to come on that one, but my replay is hopefully gonna go up on Shoot to Win's YouTube channel here in the next couple of weeks. The issue I'm having is my part 4 recording didn't record with any sound, unfortunately, and I'm just like rip. So now I'm trying to have one of my friends who is playing through it record the missing part that I'm missing because it's a pretty linear game. There's not like decisions that are going to alter what I did in there, so it's just like I can just grab their gameplay from that segment, plug it into mine, and it'll still go the way it goes. But other than that,
Hopefully it
man,
looked good.
yeah, I'm sure I can make it blend really well. I usually do really well at cleaning up the episodes if there are any issues for any uploads and whatnot. But overall, really fun game. I really had no qualms with it. Like literally, it played phenomenal. Like I had no issues. I know you had an issue, so if
Yeah.
you want to talk about that,
Yeah, day one I was playing it and I guess technically day two, the day after it came out, since it came out at what, like 10 o'clock,
seven,
8 o'clock at night.
seven, I think it was.
Yeah, it was some weird ass time late at night, and I was like, well, I guess I'll play it tomorrow. So when I played it, I soft locked the game after the second boss I was beaten. So I ended up going and defeating the squid boss second. And after you defeat him and you try to leave his boss room, if you accidentally fall off the ledge when you leave his boss room, it puts you back in the boss room and then the door's locked, so you're stuck in there. So I got soft locked for an entire day until they released a patch for it. So I
Yeah,
was like, wow, this was fun, I guess.
Jesus.
But it
Which
was quick.
which one was that? Which boss did you?
Uh the guy that you helped through, the squid guy.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha, yeah,
Squid boss.
yeah. He was fun.
So I beat him super fast and I was like, "Oh, that was fun." And then when I got done with it, I was jumping around exploring and I fell off, died. The checkpoint puts me back in his boss room, but the door to leave was closed. So I was like, "Well, guess I'm done with this game today." So I
Damn.
had to put it on the back burner until they released a patch to fix it,
Yeah.
just to keep that door unlocked because they didn't want you backtracking, I guess, when it's like impossible to do so anyway.
Right. There's nothing in there to really explore or collect or anything like that, so there's no reason for it to ever close, I guess.
Yeah, it was just weird that they did it that way. So it was definitely different, but I do enjoy the game so far. Just kind of put it down after I soft locked the game, and then I got back into it for a few minutes, and I was like, kind of lost the gumption after,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
doing that.
honestly, the game just keeps getting better and better, and just
Mhm.
the characters, just the goofiness. Obviously, it's from the creators of Rick and Morty, so it came with everything that I expected it to be. So I
Yeah,
really enjoyed
same.
it. So I've never played one of his games before. I didn't even know that they made games, to be honest with you. Um, and I was just like, oh, okay. Well, it seems like I must have missed out, but this one was a really solid game, and I'm looking forward to the this potential sequel to this. Not to spoil anything.
Yeah, no, it definitely looks like a good game, and it played really well for the first like 10th or 8th of the game that I played. I'm excited to beat it. It's just was one of those things where I was like, well, this sucked.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I see that you finally beat Spider-Man's DLC. How did that go?
That was pretty good. I honestly thought it was a little long-winded because most of the content was just doing the side objectives again. They're like, "Oh, do some more crime missions, thwart some more crimes, attack another base." And it was just like, "Okay, I finally just said enough is enough," and I just played the story instead, and it felt pretty good, and it left the game in a nice spot where you can ride right into Miles Morales, which I'm excited to try next.
Right, which obviously just came to PC last week or 2 weeks ago. And
Yeah.
then Spider-Man 2 was recently just announced that it is coming in the fall of 2023. So that's right around the corner because obviously we've seen how fast 2022 just went. The fall 2023 will be here in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, definitely. But I see you've been playing some COD still, right? We
Yeah.
did play the raid this week, those who checked out my stream. What'd you think of the raid?
Man, that was actually a lot of fun, dude. Like
Yeah.
the O2, like having to pass the tank back and forth was just a really cool mechanic to see within a video game because I don't remember doing that in any other game, like having to pass between the same oxygen tank to survive. I wish I had it in Grounded. That would make that game a lot easier. But overall, man, I thought the raid was really fun and just like loved how it continued the story. I feel like a sneeze is coming on, but I'm really eager to see where it goes from here. Like, what's next? Like, how are they going to build from this? Because they can't just give me like a copy and paste from one raid mission to a next. Like, it has to be an evolution of it.
And what I thought was really cool is the fact that like not the I'm gonna spoil a little bit for the viewers here, but in the raid, like the fact that we had like an underwater mission, a part of the mission, we had a stealth. We started stealthily. If you didn't do it stealthily, they sent fully armored dudes out to fuck you up, and
Yeah.
like then you had to survive those waves. So it kind of punished you for not being quiet, which most games are like, oh, you just go murder hobo if you're not quiet.
Yeah.
This one's like, hey, we're gonna murder you if you're not quiet. So it was definitely a fun and interesting beginning, and then just to go through the level, it was so well designed in my opinion. It had a lot of different features, but none of them felt tacked on. Like as you said, the O2 or the O2, like the the breath tank was just such an interesting little gimmick that didn't feel tacked on, and it felt fun, and it added complexity, and then the fact that we had to decipher codes,
Right.
that was
In the
super
middle of
fun.
a firefight.
Yeah. That shit was stupid as fuck. I loved how that was, like the fact that we're just getting swarmed, and we're dealing with just a ton of bad guys showing up, bomb drones flying at us. Like those dudes had more drones than the US military, okay? Like that was
Right.
shit was crazy.
Right. Yeah, that shit was insane. Overall, that was a lot of fun, and of course, we checked out some Warzone. I know we played that mini battle royale. We were playing duos, trios, or I was playing solo trios half the time because you guys were dying
Yeah.
so quickly. But that was a lot of fun. I feel like that feels a lot better than the main battle royale. I just wish they had more than just trios. Like they should allow you to choose if you want to play solo,
Small
duos,
duos would be
trios,
fun.
or quads. But overall, yeah, that feels a lot better to play. Obviously, we were coming in like second, third, fourth, like a lot.
We Yeah, we almost caught a dub. We were this close to catching a dub. And then we've also won last week, which was nice. So I'm really enjoying Warzone, and I think I might want to play it tomorrow for our stream.
Yeah, we could definitely look into that. And I know you also played another game today before Grounded was Valheim. How was that? It sounded like it was pretty fun for you guys today.
Yeah, Valheim's been pretty good actually. We're getting back into it now that the Mistlands dropped a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So been pretty fun playing that. Got a group of four of us playing. It's actually, I think, really nice some of the changes they've made over the past year to this game, and I'm excited to see where the game goes from here because they've added some of the new zones, but they're not. There's nothing there yet, but I'm excited to see where we go because the game is really pushing us to like, eventually you'll have to go to the far north, and you'll have to explore a frozen hellscape in the north. You'll have to go to these firelands, You've got the plains, you've got the mistlands, you've got the swamp. There's just so many cool zones. Like you go up into the mountains, it just feels good. Like everything about that game so far just feels good about it. Like I honestly, they could keep adding stuff and it just gets progressively more fun.
Right. It almost sounds like how Minecraft evolved and just progressively to me got more fun the more shit they added to it. It's
Yeah,
just we played
just
Minecraft for fucking 20 years now at this point it feels like, so it just kind of got burnt out for us.
and the problem with Minecraft I find is like you literally just you start the game, you go grab diamonds, you're already at the end. Like you skip every step between, starting and diamonds and you're just like, "Okay, I'm here." Whereas this game, you can't just go to iron. You have to go all the way through each one of the zones, beat the boss. And I feel like the fact that there are progressive bosses along the way, it's really fun. And this game will actually one day have an ending. That's their plan, is to have a fully complete multiplayer story builder survival sandbox game. And it feels good the whole way through so far.
Right. Hopefully it ends up like Grounded. Grounded now has the overarching story that we're following along, which we found a new burgle chip today in the pond, more or less, and that was actually a lot of fun. Now that once we had all of our gear, all four of us was there, and then we were exploring the lab and whatnot. And that was a lot of fun to piece that all together. But yeah, overall, Grounded to me is getting a lot better now that we have a plan and stuff to work towards instead of just be like, all right, cool, what do you want to do? Like, I need to have a decisive
Yeah,
idea what we're doing.
somebody has to kind of take the reins, or we all just run around doing what the fuck ever, and we don't kind of have an idea. So it definitely is a fun game, though. But I think I like Valheim more than I like Grounded.
Oh, yeah?
hmm Yeah, I think Valheim is a little more open-ended, which is nice. But Grounded, I do really enjoy the story.
Right. I mean, Grounded was kind of open ended before it going full release as well because it didn't have an
Yeah.
ending to it. But I see here your other game, your last game here on the list, was Riftbreaker. I don't think I recall this game. How is that? What is that about?
So the Riftbreaker is sort of like Factorio. It's one of those, factory belt games where you build up a essentially a factory, and then you fight off waves of enemies, you explore, you yourself fight in the battles themselves. You're not just building a base, you are literally running around in your base building walls and building defenses. It was an interesting game. I think it was released a few years ago. I don't think it was actually real recent. But the Riftbreaker I think
2021,
dropped.
last year,
Yeah, so
October
it was
14th.
it's definitely an interesting game. I'd say it's got the 9 out of 10 on Steam. It's really popular with a lot of people. I thoroughly enjoy it.
And it looks like it is it on Game Pass?
hmm That's
Yeah,
why I'm playing it.
yeah, it makes sense. Um, yeah, so I might have to check it out. I'm always looking for new games. Obviously, my most recent game that I started playing was Unravel, which is a cult classic now at this point because that one released a while ago. It's an indie developed game. You play as a little yarn ball basically, and you're just trying to go through the story and uncover the truth. I guess I'm not really understanding. I'm like two missions in, so I'm just trying to figure out what is the purpose of this game. But overall,
hmm
it's a lot of fun. It's very simple puzzles. A couple of them had me hung up there for a while. I was like, man, what the fuck do I do here? And I eventually like figured it out and kept going. But yeah, I played through the first two. It took about an hour, and I think there's total of 12 missions, so I should beat the game relatively in about 6 hours, give or take.
hmm
That's also what How Long to Beat also says it should be. So be sure if anybody's interested, come check out my stream. I'll be playing it throughout the week, um, roughly about 6 o'clock, especially once I start my new job this week. But overall, man, I think that's all of our games that we got that we played this week. But what's coming up this week?
So we only have 3 new releases, and they're not even full releases. So
Right.
Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion is just being released on PlayStation 4 finally. We've got Naraka Blade Point dropping for Xbox One finally, and then we've got Valkyrie Profile Lenneth, which drops for the PS5 and the PS4. So not really much in the way of games coming out this week. Valkyrie Profile has been out there for a while now. It's actually in a release from the PSP, and then it eventually went to the iOS and Android, and is now being re-released mobile game on the PS4 and PS5. So like all we're getting is there are no new
No,
games.
right.
These are all releases that have already been out. Like Naraka Blade Point, this has been out for a while now. It's just getting its Xbox One release this week, whereas it's been on the X and S and the PC for a while now.
Right.
PS5 still hasn't even gotten it though.
Right, Naraka Blade Point. That's one of those melee style battle royale games, which I heard
Yeah.
is a lot of fun. I haven't checked it out. I know a bunch of my guys that I grew up with. They said they checked it out and it was a lot of fun. So I might have to hop in. And also, if anybody knows, we have Glitch Energy. Glitch actually just had a new flavor coming out and is a partnership with Naraka Blade Point. So if anybody's interested, go place your orders for that. Shameless plug on that one, but I'm not really looking forward to any of these games. I know Turn Up Boy commits tax evasion. I think that's on Game Pass, so maybe I could check that out. And then Naraka Blade Point would be the only one that I'm really interested. Valkyrie Profile Lenneth is like a almost like a JRPG, but like smaller scale. It seems like.
Mhm.
But any of these interest you at all?
Honestly, no. It just gives me another week to just play my games out. I've got
Right.
4 games left, 3 games left I have to beat before the end of the year, and I'll have beaten a game every week this year. So like I'm just at this point trying to wind down and figure out what I'm gonna. Yeah, I got 3 left. If I can beat 3 games before New Year's Day,
High on Life, Somerville, and what's your third one?
yeah, we could play Memoir Blue. You know, I'm
Memorable,
really
exactly.
looking to cheese it out in the last minute. Like I'm gonna see if I can slide Rift Breaker in the next 2 weeks and catch that and finish that off. If not, I'll probably pick up some easy games just to just itch out a quick win.
Right. I mean,
Maybe
definitely,
I'll
definitely
even
check
play
out
a.
Memoir Blue because I mean, it was even nominated a few times in
Oh
the Game
yeah,
Awards. So
and that's why I thought about playing it because like you played it and I was like, it's just one of those small story games. But then
yeah,
it got a few, award nominations, and I was like, maybe I will give it a go.
yeah, it's a pretty solid story. I think Jordan might really enjoy it too.
Yeah.
Definitely play it with her. But
All right. So that's all we have for game releases, sadly. We all we really have today to talk about is the games we've played, and there's
right.
nothing much coming out. But we do have industry news. So you want to get us started with Apple?
Yeah, man, this one's actually really big news in my opinion, just because how big of
This
an
is huge.
Xbox fan that I am. But Apple News, the EU regulators have now are requiring Apple to allow outside Apple or app stores. So no longer will there be the singular only app store on the platform, which is interesting. Apple kind of threw out the idea like this runs the ideas of like security issues and privacy issues and stuff like that. So it is going to be one of those things. Download and use at your own risk. So you definitely got to be wary of that because Apple's really secure. Like they encrypt just about everything and anything on the platform.
Well, it's just the fact that they lock things down and they're the only ones that can release stuff. Like, yeah, you
Right.
can put stuff on their store, but you have to go through them.
Right, and then you got to pay the Apple tax, which is the meme right now because like what is it, Twitter Blue, where you can get like that verified check mark next to your name, but you're not really
Yeah.
verified. It's just like a subscription thing. It's $8, but if you want to get it on an Apple device, it's $11 so Twitter gets all $8 and still be able to pay Apple their 30% or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But why we wanted to cover this though is because obviously the whole issue that with Epic and Apple taking them to court because they couldn't have Fortnite on the platform anymore because of their workaround with the V-Bucks in the in-game store, and then also Xbox with having the Game Pass app on their platform. They couldn't do it because like it was beating around the bush, and then they were avoiding like the taxes and stuff like that. So now this we could see the return of the official Xbox Game Pass app on iOS devices. So that's really exciting to see there. That's why I'm really excited. But maybe we see a Steam client or Epic Games launcher now, and maybe the Activision Blizzard launcher all come into iOS devices. So it kind of just keeps everything uniform with your PC or even Mac, because Mac you can download those kind of stuff on it already.
Yeah, definitely. And it's going to be a big defining moment because like for Google, you've already been able to do this for a while now with Android, but like to do it on Apple means so much more. So I'm interested to see where we go because this also could result in a lot of big changes for a lot of mobile markets. It just I honestly, it's a wait and see at this point, but I
Hmm.
think this is the beginning of the next era in mobile gaming in mobile devices.
Right, and I think because like obviously the whole issues with like streaming games isn't really that it's not that technology isn't really fully there to support that. You still deal with latency and internet issues. Whereas, like, if I can download an app that allows me to download the game itself onto my phone, because my iPhone now already has damn near 1 terabyte of space. Like, I have the capacity to download these full fledged games. Why not allow me that option instead of streaming it? and then getting the lackluster. Maybe I want to play it on 4K because my iPhone supports
Yeah,
4K resolution. Why can't I play games at 4K? And it supports 120 hertz per second. Why can't I play games at that? Because I have to stream it. Where now I could potentially have the full fidelity of the game on the device.
maybe, but the problem with that is you're also gonna, well, you won't, you could probably get away without having to stream some of the local files now,
Right.
which would be nice, so you can cut down on some of the bandwidth,
Right.
yes.
Yeah, so I think it could use it like hand in hand, like you download it onto the phone, but it still streams like a lot of the other processing power behind it, which would make sense. So it would ease that up, makes the cloud a lot easier.
Yeah, hopefully. But talking about mobile markets and gaming markets on
This
other
is a
devices,
different type of mobile market, if you know what I
yeah,
mean. Mobile.
vehicular mobile.
Yeah.
Tesla has just added Steam to the Model S and X, so now you can play your Steam games on your car.
Right, which honestly it's big. At first I was like, why would you need this? But you had a point when you're sitting there charging your car for 30 plus minutes. This allows you just to kill
What do
some
you do?
time and play a
Yeah,
game. Yeah, instead of
yeah,
being on
you
your
can't
phone, now you
play
can
the
be on the
game.
Tesla, so you'll be fine.
Yeah. And you can't drive and play games to begin with, but now at least you can sit there when the car's in park at a charging station. You can play your fucking Steam games now, which will be awesome.
Right, and honestly, like even like when you're traveling and stuff like that, what if you're going across country? You can't pack your PC up and bring it with you unless you have a Steam Deck or the Xbox or whatever. And then now you just have your Tesla. Like, yeah, I just want to go a game for a little bit. Let me go out to my car and just play the
Yeah,
game.
let me go play my games in my fucking car.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you got a nice reclining chair, the AC or the heat or whatever. You got the nice little screen. I mean, it seems like a
And
win-win.
you can't kill yourself in your own garage too. You just sit there in the garage, turn on the car, it doesn't fill, it stays warm, you're good.
Yeah, exactly.
No gas fumes in your garage anymore.
Yeah, it seems like a win-win. But speaking about a win-win, I think this is a big win for Blizzard. What's going on in the Blizzard world?
So Chris Metzum has returned to Blizzard to work on World of Warcraft after retiring 6 years ago. He's returning to continue his 23 years of service with Activision Blizzard, and now he'll be one of the lead designers for World of Warcraft.
Yeah, which is big. And after World of Warcraft, once he gets his, I guess his feet wet again, he's going to go into other projects outside of World of Warcraft. But it's good to see a veteran return to
Yeah,
somebody
and
who's been there since the beginning, who was running it when it was running really
he
well.
was one of the writers for Warcraft 2's DLCs. He was a writer for Warcraft 3. He wrote like 10 or 15 novels based in the World of Warcraft universe. So it's a way for him, this guy is a veteran for WoW. They honestly, back in 2016 when they lost him, they lost one of their best writing, like one of their best creative influences,
Hmm.
and now they have him back. So we'll see where we go, because at this point the new WoW expansion is actually doing really well, surprisingly.
Right.
It's reinvigorating the game more than the previous expansions did.
Yeah, so that's definitely exciting. But on the other side of the Activision Blizzard news here, obviously we got to cover our Microsoft deal here. Microsoft is referring to the lack of Xbox exclusives as why the deal should be approved, and I do understand this because they did break it down that PlayStation has over 286 exclusive games compared to Xbox's 59 games. Which, if you put it in that perspective, you're like, holy fuck, that's a lot of that's a pretty big difference, and it would only even the playing ground. Otherwise, PlayStation would still have
Well,
an upper hand.
but I think that's cherry picking stats. On how many games has Microsoft released across platforms as opposed to just PlayStation, who does it to themselves? PlayStation is trying to feed their own market, yes. But like, let's take for a moment and look at Microsoft and say how many games are actually developed by Microsoft, and at the flick of a wrist, boom, they could become exclusives. Now, how many, you know, Blizzard could change their tune as quickly as they wanted to. If they really wanted to, they could bleed the market and just force people onto either Windows or onto Xbox. But they make money selling their games to PlayStation players as well, which,
Right.
duh, why would you want to make your games, exclusive if you have such a wide market and you're trying to sell to people who are getting Game Pass, or, try to get to that extra market because you already have cornered your market?
Right.
Honestly, I think we're cherry picking stats again.
Yeah. But I,
You
I think
know,
in the end game though, Microsoft doesn't really want to make that many games exclusive because they know that they can make a
yeah,
ton of money. The idea is they want to add stuff to Game Pass and not make it exclusive. It gives you that option. Go buy it on PlayStation, or you can come over to Xbox and get it for free as long as you subscribe to our subscription service, Game Pass, which makes sense. I think that's the idea behind this. Especially with the whole Call of Duty incident, like they don't want to make Call of Duty exclusive. That wouldn't make sense in any form. But by
yeah.
making it free on Game Pass versus buying it at $70 or more on PlayStation, eh, it makes sense. Go to Xbox.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And there were a lot of games that only came to Microsoft this year, but like PlayStation, there weren't as many big games. And I think we also need to really look at the games themselves, like the large titles. Microsoft flopped with its biggest title, and that's their fault. But like let's take for example, what if Halo didn't flop?
Yeah,
That would have been huge. Like we're talking Halo Infinite would have been like it would have been generation defining. It wasn't, but it could have been. And there are many other games as well, like say for example Starfield. What if this game wasn't exclusive and it became, the next big defining game? It's just Microsoft, they only have to change their mind once.
right. I mean, hopefully Starfield is this phenomenal generational game because it is exclusive, just like Redfall is exclusive. So the next two big Bethesda games are exclusive to Microsoft. So hopefully those
Yeah,
is what Xbox needs. But PlayStation, man, like every exclusive they release is a hit. God of War, the Horizon series, Spider Man. They got Wolverine coming out. They got Stray. That's a PlayStation exclusive. Or a console exclusive, I should say. Sifu, which just came to the Nintendo Switch, but it was again PlayStation exclusive. All of these solid hits over the past year have been a PlayStation. Xbox has had
but
what? Flight Simulator
y-
and Forza Motorsport or
yeah,
Forza
but you
Horizon.
can't really consider something an exclusive if it also shows up on PC though, like the
Well,
same
it's
day.
well they consider it in an exclusive like console wise. They're not when we're looking at this, we're not talking about PC at all.
Yeah, and I think that's
Because you could
also
say,
cherry
well, you
picking.
could say that about PlayStation then, because most of
Yeah.
their games are now on PC, so none of them are technically exclusive. But in
hmm
reality, they are still PlayStation exclusive games. Like you can buy it on PC, that's separate. But we're talking about console to console.
I get you. I get we are, but we can't cherry pick that stat anymore because PC is in the mix. PC is just as big. We also have to look at things that come to PC.
Yeah,
Like it just at this point, if Microsoft were to just pull from PlayStation, because PlayStation doesn't have an OS or a computerized OS, they just have the console, whereas Windows has both.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I definitely get it,
So,
but they're only going to look at it from console to console, regardless of PC
mhm.
being another platform. But PC is technically a neutral ground for both of them. They
and I
both
think
release
that's
games to it.
and I think that's again why we're cherry picking stats when we talk about these companies because Activision Blizzard is a mobile, PC, and console industry. Like they make
Hmm.
World of Warcraft is not on console. It is they will be buying. Microsoft will own World of Warcraft if this
Yeah,
goes through.
right,
That's huge.
right.
They will own all of Call of Duty.
But they
They will
can
own
they can
Candy
bring World
Crush.
of Warcraft to Xbox.
Oh, they could,
It'd
but
be
it'd probably
crazy.
be
It'd be
it'd be
crazy.
crazy.
I don't know if it would work.
PlayStation tried to do a fucking MMO. They did Final Fantasy 12 or 11 or something on console, and it was a thing.
Yeah, but
All right, well, let's talk about God of War for a second here,
yeah,
though. Amazon officially announces the live action series. Who should play Kratos, though, is the big question.
yeah. There's been a lot of talks in the community of who should play Kratos, and there's been a lot of actors thrown out there. But they were like, why not just use the same actor who does the voice? And I was just like,
A little,
it would.
little,
I mean, you could do some makeup and some CGI
yeah,
CGI work, but to me it would make sense to just allow him to do it.
yeah, it would make sense, but the problem is like they're like I guess yeah, make him black, fine, but like
He's
it's
a
a
mythical
Grecian
creature.
guy.
Yeah, like yeah,
Well, no, he's Greece. He's Grecian, so we do have to look at the fact that he is from Greek. If we were going to cast correctly, you would find a Greek man. He would still be brown, but he wouldn't be black.
right. Yeah, I mean, But they're always changing skin color of famous people within shows and stuff like that, or
Mhm.
movies and whatnot. So I wouldn't be surprised if they went that route. Even like, because I mean, you could put makeup on him to make him look a little less black, I guess, more more pasty. But I mean, I'm sure that they could make it work. But I'm curious to see who they are gonna cast at it, because like it's gonna be like one of those like when they did
Has
Halo,
to be
like
somebody who
Master Chief.
looks and sounds like him though. And let's be honest here. We can't even talk about that show. That show was a flop.
Yeah,
A monumental flop.
because they literally
So
could have just they could have did what Star Wars did, right? And with Darth Vader,
fucking
the
helmet
the
on.
person that's in the goddamn Vader suit isn't James Earl Jones. It's fucking some other dude that they replaced his voice with because it wasn't it. And they were like, James Earl Jones is the voice of Darth Vader, and now that will forever be that. They could have did the same thing with Master Chief. They could have just used the same voice for Master Chief in the game and not take the goddamn helmet
Exactly.
off, and you would have been fine. You'd have stuck to the
Yeah.
same lore and everything. It would just been fucking fantastic. But you use the same voice actor for Cortana, but you can't use the same one for fucking Master Chief. Mind blowing. And then you wonder why the show is not as exciting as you wanted it to be. And it's not even real lore. It's separate. So
Mhm.
you fucked that up. So I really hope PlayStation doesn't fuck this up. They usually don't fuck up shit like in
Yeah.
regards to their
Honestly,
content like this. So
this is so big. I really hope like God of War gets a good TV show. And The Last of Us is gonna be the big litmus test for how well they
yeah,
do because that comes out here in the new year.
yeah. What, January or
Yeah.
February? I forget which one it is. I think it's January because Pedro Pascal has he's Joel in The Last of Us, and then he has The
Hmm.
Mandalorian coming out. I think like the following month in February. So he's got a lot of content coming out. But that's all of our industry news. We'll definitely follow all of that. That'll be some ongoing stories for the follow the into next year for sure. But let's get into our gaming news. Not much there to go off of. But first off, we got some Fortnite news. This one was pretty interesting because
Yeah.
Metallica is now in Fortnite, but it's not what you think it is because it's not a skin. You can it's an emote,
It's
and you got to pay 500 V bucks, which is like $3.50 or something like that. And you play segments from Master of the Puppets song, and the first person who initiate it will play the main guitar, and then three other people can join you whether they purchased it or not, and they will play the drums, the second guitar, and the bass. So it's cool. They do whatever they want now, I guess. So
Fortnite is one of those things that's just like what the like I when I read this I was like okay, I all right, I guess like
Fortnite
it
is the
make it
metaverse.
they're yeah, it is. Fortnite is the original metaverse at this point. They've have live action concerts. They have emotes that literally are not meant to be part of the game. Like the fact that this emote exists is literally just for pre-lobbies or
Pretty
for
much.
like
Or to
after game,
troll,
you know.
like, or
Yeah.
trolling people when you kill somebody, you go and you fucking start playing the song together over a downed
On their
enemy.
corpse.
Oh man, that's great. Yeah, I thought this was great because I know you were a Metallica fan. I'm not sure if you still listen to them that often, but
I
yeah,
listened to
it's
him, you
pretty
know, in
cool.
high school for a little bit, but I just thought it was a silly thing. The fact that they added an emote that is a combined emote. That's the cool thing.
Hmm.
But let's be honest here, Sea of Thieves did it first.
Yeah,
The sea shanties where everyone can join in together. I thought that was cool. The fact that, the game allows people to combine together the Power Rangers of musical renditions, I
right.
guess.
You're right. You imagine Master Chief, Kratos, the Doom guy, and like I don't know,
John
Batman,
Wick.
John Wick, all playing the fucking the guitar and the drums and shit.
Metallica
Metallica.
on your dead
Like
corpse.
what the fuck are we doing, guys?
We
Uh,
have entered the future.
this is clearly Ready Player One.
All right. So next up, we've got the new game coming out here in February now. Hogwarts Legacy is releasing for the PS5, PC, and Xbox S and X on February 10th, 2023. This is the next gen version of the game.
Mhm.
The late gen, the last gen, the old version is actually releasing later. It will be a whole month, almost two, delayed. It'll be April 4th, 2023. And then if you want to play it on your Switch, you might as well just watch a Let's Play because you have to wait till July 25th, 2023 to play this game. And this is the third time the game has been delayed. So like,
Yeah,
but we have seen some pretty nifty trailers so
dude.
far online. Have you seen some of these?
Online they just had a bunch of showcases recently. Like they showed the
Yeah.
dark magic like arena that you can go into, and you can basically just go on a murdering spree. You can Avada Kedavra and just fucking kill everybody. I'm just like, bro, like,
Fucking troll jumped down and's like, "Rah!" And he just sits there and he just like drinks a potion. He gets ready. And he just goes and instantly blows the troll up. And then
yeah,
the other one's just like,
yeah. Dude, that game is gonna be like insane. Like if they execute this really well, like this could
it's
be
Red Dead Redemption.
it could be one of
It
the game of the
looks
years
so
next
good.
year. Like it could be in the running for game of the year if it execute and runs exactly how it is. No Cyberpunk 2077 issues, no Halo Infinite lack of content post release issues. Like this could be a solid game because it's an MMO and you're just going around and you're going to classes and participating in the different events and you can you could basically fly around on whatever. You can do your broomstick, the different creatures and stuff. So man, this game has a lot of people excited, especially gamers or non-gamers excited too to come in and
Well,
check
and
out
it's
the.
not an MMO. Let's make sure you're aware of that. It's not an MMO. It's a single player first person experience open world action RPG. So like it is like Red Dead Redemption in Harry Potter. And it takes place way before Harry Potter does. This
Oh yeah,
actually takes place in the 1800s. And like the fact is it's open world exploration, so like you can hop on a fucking griffin, hop on your broom, just go fucking flying. You take classes, you're like doing the seedy underground of the wizarding world. It honestly, as you said, could be the game of the year next year. If this is like Red Dead Redemption 2, but like in the wizarding world, it's over.
yeah.
I
Yeah, I forgot. I
honestly,
was thinking about the MMO Harry Potter game that got canceled
yep,
recently.
they got canceled.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, this is an open world single player game, so it's gonna be really fun. Really interested to see if there's going to be any connections to the forward history, because like a lot of some of the characters that are in Harry Potter are like couple hundreds of years old anyway, so like they could theoretically appear or be mentioned in it. So maybe there'll be some fan service.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely excited to see where this goes. Because like we're looking at, you're playing Hogwarts, depending on when this takes place, you could see like an early Albus Dumbledore.
Right.
He was born in the 1880s.
Yeah.
So like there's some really interesting stuff that could happen, right before the first, right before really the Renaissance ends, which it's quite fascinating. I'm excited to see where this goes. But Vic, tell us about what Epic is doing.
Yeah, some bad news, man. Like this is some memories, man, that we have together was in regards to this, but they're shutting down the online services for Rock Band and Unreal Engine tournament games. This will be fully disabled on January 24th, 2023, so you have about a month to play some online if you still do that. But man, we didn't really play online in any of these games, honestly, but playing Rock Band was just
I played
very.
Unreal Tournament games a lot
I
actually.
played
I
Unreal Engine
played back in the
3.
early.
Unreal Engine Tournament 3 is what I played a lot on a 360.
Yeah.
So that might have been the only one I really played online, but obviously Rock Band that was all mainly local unless you were competing against somebody online. But
Yeah,
yes, sad
and
news.
yeah, so you'll still be able to play Rock Band locally with your
Yeah,
friends. You just won't be able to play online with your friends or online against people.
right.
So,
Sad news, but
an
maybe
Unreal
maybe maybe we'll
Tournament,
see Guitar Hero reinvigorated once Microsoft buys them out.
maybe, maybe.
I could go for another musical game, man. Like with the instruments and everything. Like I know it seemed like a gimmick, like back in the day, but like it was like so much fun to do that shit. Like we spent hours playing through them songs.
Yeah, I'm wondering to see, I forget what the title is, but there's a new guitar game coming out that's an online service. I'm wondering to see how well that does.
Hmm.
Is there still a place in the market for these games, or are they over? Is rhythm games behind us? Are
Right, right.
rhythm games
Because
behind
they
us?
had that one where it's like it was like a real guitar with like real strings, but it was like still like a video
But
game
you
because
can
it was
do that
attached.
now.
Right. So like I wonder if they're gonna stick to that, or if they're gonna like still have like the buttons and whatnot to make it
Well,
more user
the
friendly.
thing that's online, we did see that back in the Games Fest in the summer with Jeff Keighley.
Yeah,
Uh, he showed one of the things that he displayed was the new one, which is you hook up your electric guitar to your computer and you play, and it's an online service that you pay like 15 or $20 a month, and it lets you learn and also compete with people to get better at guitar.
right. So I mean, that could definitely be the way. I'm just interested to see if they implement a way to play with like a non-real guitar to make it a little bit user friendly. If you still want to compete, like give you that
Yeah.
option, or whatnot. But we'll see. But moving on here to our next news, PlayStation had a pretty interesting update this week.
Yeah, the Share Factory had a new update. There's 10 new creator packs, FIFA 23 game bits or like parts of the game, and enhanced editing tools, and much, much more.
Yeah. So
So, it's quite interesting that we're going to see an update to Share Factory here. The Share Factory is that the in-app sort of
editing
editing,
software on the
video editing
on the
tool.
PlayStation, yeah,
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. I wish Xbox had a more in depth to this because right now you can basically just trim and share it pretty much right from the thing, but there's not really much of a editing to it. Like you can't edit the visuals or the sound or anything like that. Obviously, you got to take that to another app to do it, but having it built in, I think, is really useful, especially for all those content creators.
especially for people who don't have computers
Right.
and want to get started.
Yeah, and honestly, like the hassle of like uploading it to the OneDrive on the Xbox and then saving the video, then taking it to another app, upload it to there, edit the video, then render that, and then upload. Like that's just cut
It's a
out the
lot of
whole,
work.
yeah, just cut out all of that middle part and let me just do it all right there on the app. Maybe
Yeah,
one
and
day.
with the ability to hook up a keyboard and mouse, it's over. Let me just do all my editing on the console, turn it into a mini computer.
Right. I mean, it more or less is, and you can already hook up the keyboard and mouse to the Xbox
As I said,
and the
yeah,
PlayStation. So you just allow me to do that. It would only make sense. The Xbox is more than powerful. Like it's more powerful than my PC I have now, and I can do all of that right here. So we'll see. But that's definitely some good news. But next up, we got some CD Projekt Red news. This one was just interesting because with the Witcher 3 next gen update that was recently released, the it added a mystery from Cyberpunk 2077 that is still unsolved after 2 years. This is Night City's Magenta mystery, and basically it just gives you like the color code and it leads you to the color magenta and they're trying to figure out like what are you trying to tell us, and now that it's connected in it's in Cyberpunk and now it's officially in the Witcher game, like what are they trying to tell us? Are they teasing a new game? Are they teasing a connection of the game somehow, some way? Like I'm really curious to see. I just wanted to bring this up. Do you have you seen anything about this yet?
no, I've never followed the whole magenta thing because it's on a statue you get the FF0685 or sorry B5 06B5, which is a magenta color code.
Mm-hmm.
I just know of it, just never seen it, but you can also find it on other things as well, like statues, little desktop things. Nobody's ever solved what it has to do with, but it's supposedly a an Easter egg that nobody's ever figured out yet.
Right, and obviously this isn't just some one-off thing like something that was left over in Cyberpunk because like they
Like it's
went
all
back,
over the place.
right, they went back and added it to an older game with the next gen update. So clearly this has to have some kind of meaning unless they're really just trolling people.
It
Like
may
on a
be,
whole another level.
and people are saying it might even just be from, a DLC that's not out yet.
Could be. I mean look what like even Assassin's Creed did, like how they're tying in the different games. Like I know they're similar time periods, but like Cyberpunk and Witcher 3, like that'd be crazy if they're somehow connected in the same world. But
Would
yeah,
be a little weird, especially since magic no longer exists in Night City.
right. But they could explain why. Like maybe something happened. Like it's the whole idea, like the idea, and actually in our history that humans were more advanced and more civilized in the past than we are now, but they're suppressing that history from us for some weird reason. Like that's some crazy conspiracy that could harbor some truth. we just never know, and we will never know that interesting information. But if you want to close out our gaming news, Roger, what else is going on here?
Yeah, so we got an announcement. We're getting a new Tomb Raider game by Crystal Dynamics. The publisher will be Amazon Games. So Amazon picked up the Tomb Raider franchise, and they'll be developing this game in Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, just to clarify, Embracer Group owns Tomb Raider, and
But Crystal Develop,
Crystal
yeah,
Dynamics are the ones that do it, and then they decided to have Amazon Games be the publisher. So that's really interesting that they picked up Amazon as the publisher.
yeah. So now maybe you'll get it with your Amazon Prime subscription. I
Right. Because is Amazon Luna still a thing? Like, did they shut that down?
don't even remember.
Because that was their Google Stadia competitor, like their cloud
Oh
gaming
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah. I think that's gone. Like they were like Amazon Luna, never mind, because right now they're hemorrhaging money, I believe, with the Amazon gaming service. So like,
Yeah. Yeah. It looks like Amazon Luna is still a thing. Like it hasn't.
yeah,
It's not. It's still active.
it's
So
free with Prime. You can get it with Prime. You just get a little controller.
yeah, the controller actually isn't bad. I've actually seen one of them in person, and it reminds me of the Switch Pro controller, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
But it's a really nice controller. But interesting though that they picked up Amazon as their the publisher for the next Tomb Raider game. But at least it's using Unreal Engine 5 to say the least.
Yeah. Well, it looks so good. Like Unreal Engine 5 is literally like the demo we saw, what, 5 years ago now? Looks like something straight out of Tomb Raider, and I'm just like, I'm so excited to finally see it
Hmm.
hit the shelves.
I mean, remember when they did the whole Matrix experience or whatever? That wasn't when they
Mhm.
were showcasing Unreal Engine 5. Like that was damn near impossible to just. Is that real or is that like a video game? But obviously, we've seen the look. I mean, look at Fortnite's recent update. That shit looks gorgeous, and that's like a cartoon style, realistic kind of looking game. Like it's a really interesting
That
style.
shit had a glow up.
Major, like comparing like original Fortnite to where it's at now, it's like, holy fuck. Yeah, that game has come a long way. But yeah, man, that's all of our gaming news for the last podcast of the year, man. So we this is again this is our last episode of the year, and we will be returning on January 8th for a new episode live here on our Twitch channel. So be sure to come back. And we do appreciate all of our live viewers today and throughout the year, man. We definitely appreciate all the love and support we've gotten over the past 365 days here. So Roger, where can everyone check you out at?
Hey, if you don't know, I'm at lunatic_oblivion on Twitch and lunatic oblivion on Twitter.
And of course, you can check me on Twitter at Mr. Never Chillin underscore. Xbox is X Never Space Chillin. You want a game party up? Hit me up there. We are actually looking for some Call of Duty teams to scrimmage in CDL for my Shoot to Win team. So make sure you hit me up if you are interested in that. And of course, Facebook is Vic Brubacher. Question, concerns, or if you want to come on the show in the future, make sure you hit me up on there. And I'm streaming over on my Twitch at twitch.tv/Mr. Never Chillin. And of course, I'm streaming Unravel right now for my single player games and my Call of Duty practice Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock, so be sure you come check that out. But we definitely want to hope everyone has a safe and wonderful holiday, and thanks again. But until next year, peace.